The 8th of December, 1941, 12:30 p.m. The joint session of Congress. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt sits in a wheelchair, escorted into the House chamber by Secret Service agents. The room is packed. Every senator, every representative is there. The nation is watching and listening. Roosevelt approaches the microphone. His face is grave. He holds a piece of paper in his hand. The room falls silent. Roosevelt begins to speak. His voice is steady, measured, powerful. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date, which will live in infamy, the United States of America, was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The words hang in the air. A date which will live in infamy, not just December 7th, not just an attack, a date which will live in infamy. Roosevelt's words transform Pearl Harbor from a military disaster into something more, a moment that defines a nation, a generation, a war. As he speaks, America transforms. Shock becomes anger. Confusion becomes purpose. Devastation becomes determination. This is the story of that transformation, how a nation turned its darkest day into its finest hour. How Pearl Harbor was not the beginning of American defeat, but the beginning of Japanese defeat. This is Part 5, America's response from infamy to victory. The attack on Pearl Harbor killed 2,403 Americans. It sank or damaged 8 battleships. It destroyed or damaged 188 aircraft. It was a catastrophe, a defeat, a humiliation. But Roosevelt's response transformed it into something else, a rallying cry. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire. The words are deliberate, unprovoked, dastardly, state of war. Roosevelt doesn't ask for sympathy. He doesn't ask for patience or time to rebuild. He asks for war. And Congress agrees. The vote is almost unanimous, 388 to 1 inch the House, 82 to 0 inches the Senate. One representative, Jeannette Rankin from Montana, votes no. She's a pacifist. She votes against all wars. But she's alone. The nation is united. Within days, America also declares war on Germany and Italy, bringing the full weight of American power into the global conflict. Roosevelt's speech does something remarkable. It transforms American psychology overnight. The day before Pearl Harbor, most Americans wanted nothing to do with the war in Europe or Asia. Isolationism was the dominant mood. The day after Roosevelt's speech, America is united, not because of propaganda or manipulation, but because the nation has been attacked. Roosevelt understands something profound. In crisis, humans respond to clarity and purpose. He doesn't tell Americans that everything will be fine. He doesn't sugarcoat the situation. He tells them the truth. We have been attacked. We are at war. We will prevail. And that clarity transforms the nation. In the days and weeks after Pearl Harbor, American military strategists face a grim situation. The battleships, the symbol of naval power for centuries, have been destroyed. USS Arizona, USS Oklahoma, USS West Virginia, USS California. The proud battleships of Battleship Row are gone. But something unexpected happens. The American aircraft carriers survive. USS Enterprise, USS Lexington, and USS Saratoga were all at sea on December 7th. They weren't in Pearl Harbor. They weren't in the line of Japanese fire. Yamamoto, the mastermind of the Pearl Harbor attack, had wanted those carriers destroyed more than anything else. Carriers, he understood, were the future of naval warfare. Battleships were obsolete. The age of the battleship was over. The age of the aircraft carrier had begun. But the carriers escaped. And that escape would change everything. Within weeks, American shipyards begin a frantic effort to repair damaged ships and build new ones. The American industrial machine, the same machine that horrified Yamamoto when he visited America as a young officer, begins to operate at full capacity. Factories that were building cars begin building tanks. Factories that were building consumer goods begin building weapons. American women, denied access to combat, pour into factories to help build the weapons of war. Rivets, steel, ammunition, ships, planes, all flowing out of American factories at a rate Japan cannot match. Within 6 months of Pearl Harbor, the balance of power in the Pacific has begun to shift. The 3 surviving carriers, Enterprise, Lexington, Saratoga, become the new heart of the American Pacific Fleet. They will prove to be more valuable than all 8 battleships that were lost. Because the future of naval warfare belongs to aircraft, not battleships. May 1942, the Coral Sea. American carriers encounter Japanese carriers for the first time in history. Aircraft attack from dozens of miles away, the ships never see each other, never fire a shot directly at each other. This is the future of naval warfare. The Americans are defeated at the Coral Sea, but it's a strategic victory. The Japanese invasion of Australia is thwarted. Then comes June 1942. Midway Island, in the middle of the Pacific. Yamamoto plans a massive operation to destroy the American carriers. He sends a huge fleet, 4 aircraft carriers, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, but American intelligence cracks Japanese codes. Americans know exactly where Yamamoto's fleet is going. Americans position their 3 carriers, Enterprise, Yorktown, and Hornet, right in Yamamoto's path. On the 4th of June 1942, Japanese and American planes meet in the sky above Midway. For 6 hours, the battle rages. When it's over, 4 Japanese aircraft carriers are at the bottom of the Pacific: Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu. The same carriers that attacked Pearl Harbor are now sunk. 1 American carrier, Yorktown, is also sunk. But the strategic balance has shifted decisively. Japan's naval dominance is broken. Yamamoto's prediction comes true. I can run wild for 6 months. After that, I guarantee nothing. 6 months and 1 week after Pearl Harbor, the tide turns. Japan will fight on for 3 more years. But from Midway forward, Japan is on the defensive. America has transformed from victim to victor in 6 months. From June 1942 to August 1945, America fights its way across the Pacific. Island by island, battle by battle, thousands of Americans die. Hundreds of thousands of Japanese die. Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, Okinawa. Each battle is brutal. Each battle costs lives. But each battle moves America closer to Tokyo. In Europe, American forces are also fighting from North Africa to Sicily to Italy to France. On the 6th of June 1944, D-Day, American and Allied forces land in Normandy and begin the liberation of Europe. By May 1945, Germany surrenders. Now all American power focuses on Japan. Japan refuses to surrender. Even as American forces approach the Japanese homeland, even as Japanese cities are firebombed, Japan's military government refuses to quit. So America develops a new weapon, the atomic bomb. On the 6th of August 1945, an American bomber drops an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. 70,000 people die instantly. 3 days later, another atomic bomb falls on Nagasaki. 40,000 people die. On the 15th of August, 1945, VJ Day, victory in Japan. Japan surrenders unconditionally. The war is over. America has transformed from a nation shattered by surprise attack into a global superpower that defeated 2 empires simultaneously. Pearl Harbor was supposed to be the beginning of Japanese dominance in the Pacific. Instead, it was the beginning of Japan's defeat. Yamamoto understood this, which is why he warned Japan's leaders. I can run wild for 6 months. After that, I guarantee nothing. He was right. 6 months and 1 week after Pearl Harbor, Midway proved that America had recovered and was ready to fight back. The attack on Pearl Harbor killed 2,403 Americans. The Pacific War that followed the attack killed over 100,000 Americans. The global war that Pearl Harbor triggered killed over 60 million people, but it also ended Japanese militarism. It ended Nazi tyranny. It established America as a global superpower. So, what does Pearl Harbor teach us? It teaches us that defeat can be transformed into victory through determination. It teaches us that a nation united in purpose is unstoppable. It teaches us that from our darkest moments can come our finest hours. The 7th of December 1941 is a date which will live in infamy, but it's also a date that showed the world what Americans can do when we're united, when we're determined, when we refuse to quit. Thank you for joining this 5-part journey through Pearl Harbor history. From the Japanese master plan, to Battleship Rose's devastation, to the heroes who emerged from chaos, to America's response and ultimate victory. Which video impacted you most? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more untold World War II stories, subscribe now, because history is full of stories like these, stories of courage, sacrifice, and determination. We will never forget Pearl Harbor. We will never forget those who died. And we will never forget